As I was creating the last lesson, I noticed that sometimes when I searched for a city, the page wouldn't update. After I refreshed the page, it would start working fine again, but after a while, it would magically stop working. I know hot reloading can be a little flaky sometimes, but usually it's pretty rare. This was acting up more than I would like. After a lot of digging, I've come to the conclusion that I discovered a bug in Nuxt involving watch query, async data, and hot reloading. Watch query is triggering async data to fire when the query changed, and async data is returning the right data. But after that, the data just vanishes. It isn't merged with the local state like it's supposed to. To be clear, I didn't see a problem with my production build. I never got it to break, so this seems to be a dev-only thing. So even though our code is good, I think this will drive us crazy in dev. So let's update the page to use a different technique. Hey, on the bright side, I get to teach you more things. Alright, so the first thing we'll do is remove watch query. That triggered async data client side when the latitude changed in the query string. This was pretty slick because we could reuse our async data function for both server-side and client-side updates. Instead, we'll use an in-component navigation guard called beforeRouteUpdate. Whenever you're on a page, and the new URL resolves to the same page component that's already rendered, this function gets fired. It gets passed 3 arguments: to, from, and next. To is the route object that the user is trying to navigate to. From is the route object they just came from. And next is a callback function to let other navigation guards fire. If you don't call next, navigation will stop and no other navigation guards will fire, which is usually a bad thing. Add beforeRouteUpdate to our geo search page. Next, we're going to be setting our homes data. Copy the API call from async data and pass it into our beforeRouteUpdate function. We no longer have access to the context object, so $data API won't work. The good news is since this is already a component instance, we have access to this. Update our API call to use this and add async to our function. Instead of accessing query from the context parameter, now we have to access query from the to object. Next, let's set our homes data, this time using this.homes. Now do the same thing for label, latitude, and longitude, again using the to object. And I almost forgot, call next. And that should be it. Now whenever someone hits the page for the first time, either server-side or client-side, async data will be called. If they search again, while they are already on this page, beforeRouteUpdate will take care of it. Let's save and make sure everything still looks good. And now let's search for a different location, either Vail or Beaver Creek. Great, looks like it still works. Alright, that was an unexpected journey, but in the end we still ended up in the same spot, so that's great. On with a regularly scheduled program.